Hello everyone, my name is Brittanye Morris. I am the judge-elect of the 333rd Civil District Court right here in Harris County.
Brittanye Morris was a lawyer for just 5 years, but then she campaigned in her big black van to be a civil district court judge in Harris County.
Another thing, being accountable, engaged, transparent, those are the things that will get you reelected. Those are the things that make you beholden to your bench, but also a judge for the people.
On Facebook in September, she claimed, quote, "I believe that people deserve to be treated fairly." Less than a month wearing that black robe, Brittanye Morris has become a poster child for apparent judicial misconduct, the evidence damning. Morris was clearly helping controversial Houston real estate developer Ali Chowdhury when she knew she would have his case when she took the bench. Listen to candidate Brittanye Morris on 95.3 Jams in March of 2020, right before she beat the incumbent judge.
So you're not elitist, basically. You don't have people financing your campaign.
I absolutely don't. I absolutely don't.
That was absolutely not true. The mother of Ali Chowdhury's child had given her a big donation already. Two of Chowdhury's lawyers had kicked in a bunch of money, too. A lot more campaign cash came flowing to Morris after the primary because she was unopposed in November. More than $90,000. But 1/3 of the money, $30,000, came from just one source, former mayoral candidate Tony Busby. According to the Texas Ethics Commission, it was as much money as Busby had donated to all the other local judges combined. Months before that donation, Busby had become a new lawyer for, guess who? Ali Chowdhury. They have neighboring mansions on River Oaks Boulevard. Now text messages confirm the worst. Judge Morris was actually working for Ali Chowdhury last fall on the very lawsuit Judge Morris would have to rule on once she took the bench. Quoting, "Willing to help out behind the scene," the judge wrote, "to organize, to facilitate. Ali needs to run his company and make deals. Just let me know where I can be of assistance." Last week, we revealed those troubling text messages publicly after Morris ruled for Chowdhury, ignoring desperate motions to recuse her. The Chief Administrative Judge, Susan Brown, is set to rule on the Morris recusal next week, but she has not called for a public hearing despite these serious allegations and the complaints about ethics. Quoting, "If Judge Morris's conduct can be deemed impartial, then our judicial system is doomed, and no party facing the daunting aspect of litigation with Chowdhury has a chance to prevail." Now listen back to Brittanye Morris as she asked for your vote last year.
Everyone should have their day in court. Everyone should have an even playing field.
Here are the facts. Judge Morris never disclosed the conflict of interest with Chowdhury when she took the bench on the fight over the ownership of a lucrative piece of real estate at 610 in Westheimer. The judge then ignored multiple requests to recuse herself from the case before she ruled for Ali Chowdhury, even after her relationship was clearly exposed.
Either publicly reprimand her or remove her from the bench if she's not willing or not able to serve in a fair, impartial way, which is what we expect of every judge that sits on the bench.
There are new text messages saved from the encrypted app WhatsApp, messages from Chowdhury to his former chief operating officer, Chris Wyatt, who's now blowing the whistle about the judge and Chowdhury.
Chris Wyatt is nothing more than a whistleblower in this case who's being attacked to be prevented from continuing to provide truthful information about what went on inside Chowdhury's camp.
Look at the text messages. Brittany is here, this Chowdhury text says. Have an office for her? Look at this text. Talk to Brittany. Need a temporary restraining order ASAP this AM in county court. About that time, a motion was filed in county court in the Beal Bank real estate case by another Chowdhury lawyer, Keith Gross. He's mentioned in the text messages, but he refuses to talk about the judge's involvement. He says he'll testify truthfully if subpoenaed. Chowdhury is waging legal battles to stop Chris Wyatt from talking, about real estate deals and bank loans.
And a lot of people think what happened here was fraud, it was improper, and it cost people a lot of money.
A sworn affidavit from Wyatt is tough to dispute. The judge was apparently square in the middle of a plan by Chowdhury to get help with lawsuits in her court.
He supported her, he nurtured her, and now that she's on the bench, he's asking her to do favors for him, and it appears she's doing just that.
How shocking is this?
This is beyond shocking. I mean, all the parties in this litigation are just unbelievably appalled at her behavior and surprised that she would put her bench in jeopardy so early on into her career as a judge.
Ali Chowdhury has a big problem. He's pulling out all the legal stops to keep Wyatt from testifying under oath.
He's making an attempt to stop a deposition that has been delayed for over 2 months now.
Chowdhury's team is also now attacking our investigation of the judge, suggesting it's about race, not ethics. Enter Quanell X.
I think it's insulting for Quanell X to continue to make claims that everybody knows are baseless. It concerns me that nobody has a problem with the fact that he's swearing out affidavits that are blatantly false.
Quanell's latest attack is on Dolce Fino Consulting, Mr. X claiming I threatened to go to war with him in a phone conversation. There's a way to prove that's not true. Just listen.
I'm being real serious right now. I'm ready to declare war on all y'all.
Mr. X also claims I had previously told him that Judge Morris was too young, incompetent, and was only on the bench because she was black and ran as a Democrat. My investigation, Mr. X claims, is part of a sinister plot that's been hatched against a promising young black woman. In his fantasy, X even claims I went to Morris's court to intimidate and harass the judge. In fact, I've never stepped foot in her court. The judge was offered a chance by letter to respond to the allegations. She did not. The rest of Quanell's sworn testimony is clearly false and, quite honestly, insulting to the rest of the African American judges who were elected to the bench who have ethics. It's distracting from the questions investigators should be asking. How much was Judge Morris paid by Chowdhury before she took the bench? And who paid for that big black van with the Morris campaign sign on it that transported the candidate around town? Government records show her family doesn't own one, and there's no mention of it on her campaign report. We asked because we discovered that Ali Chowdhury's company, Jeddah, owns a big black van that looks exactly like the one in the judge's campaign picture. Voters are due an immediate public explanation. This whole affair, it smacks of a guy trying to buy a result.
There's no question.
Ali Chowdhury has been punished with hundreds of thousands of dollars in judgments and penalties just last year for his conduct in court. He lives in a big River Oaks mansion while accused of ripping off others for millions. He often hides his ownership through others, like Azima Zahir or realtor Brad Parker, even an unsuspecting elderly secretary we found.
I obviously did not know what I was signing, and if he made me manager of some company, then he never told me.
Ali Chowdhury is welcome anytime to sit down and talk to us on camera, and so is his friend Judge Morris.